What's up, guys? So we're going to be doing this new thing called Rewind the Vault, where we bring you back to old episodes of Zetro's Toxic Vault that maybe you haven't seen. So I'm going to bring you back to one right now from 2019, where I got to interview Wattie from The Exploited. So enjoy this. It's a lot of fun. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Zetro's Toxic Vault. And today I have a really special guest, one of my influences, one of my heroes. You wouldn't be talking thrash metal if it wasn't for this guy. Bands like Discharge and GBH and his own band helped pave the way for all of us that do thrash metal. I'm talking about The Exploited, and today we have Wattie. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good to have you in.
It's good to be alive.
Well, like I was saying to everybody, there would be no thrash metal. There would be no Exodus. There would be no Metallica, Megadeth, any of the core bands that started it if it wasn't for bands like The Exploited. The rawness, the ferocity, the lyrical content, just all of it. Honestly, we would
just anger.
Well, we were angry kids. It's like, our lyrical content consisted of stuff like, kick in your face and rape and murder your wife. I mean, that's the early stuff of thrash and it was all stuff that we heard from, Discharge records and Exploited albums and GBH and bands like that really influenced us. And I wanted to talk to you more about, how did you start? You were a 13-year-old kid around 1970, 1971. What were you listening to at that time? What made you get into this?
When I was a kid, I was listening to T-Rex, Gary Glitter, David Bowie, Roxy Music, Alex Harvey. Alex Harvey's a Scottish singer. He's a bit like Alice Cooper type thing, but he's still a lot of Scottish bands sing, but they try to put an English accent on or put an American accent on. But this guy sung with a Scottish accent. It's like, that's what I do. I always sing with a Scottish accent. I did try to be English or American. I'm Scottish. I'm proud to be Scottish. And so I used to look up to Alex Harvey when I was 14. He supported Slade, and Alex Harvey were fucking fantastic, brilliant, totally brilliant showman. But the guy's dead now, but that's what I used to listen to. And then I started listening to like Nazareth and all different shit.
So you like the dark? Did you listen to Sabbath? Did you like the darker stuff?
Nah, I never listened to that shit.
Didn't listen to Black Sabbath?
Nah, I didn't like that shit. I used to listen to James Brown.
So soul music as well.
Yeah, I like James Brown, and I was 17. I joined the army at 17.
How about early punk music like Sham 69?
Jimmy Purge is a fucking wanker. The singer for Jimmy. Sham were a good band when they started. When they started, Sham were a great band, but Jimmy Pursley, the singer, is a fucking asshole. He's a fucking pedophile fucking wank.
But as a youth, was that an influence even before that?
No, the first, when I was in the army, I never heard punk until I was about 20. I was about 20 when I first heard. I was about 20 when I first heard punk. 19, 20. I first heard punk.
And what was the first punks that you heard? Was it obviously the English stuff?
It was the early stuff, like the Damned, the Sex Pistols,
Clash.
The Clash. I met the Clash a couple of times. I used to go up with a girl, and she was a fucking just a slag. She used to try to fuck all the bands, but I was just new into punk, and this girl knew these bands for '76 and almost like she was from London. And she used to fuck on the band, so she used to go to we go to concerts like the Clash and that, and we got on the guest list and that, and that was quite cool.
So when you started singing punk music, was that before or after? Because I know you said you joined the army around 17.
No, I left the army. I was in Germany in the army. I was about 20, and I heard punk music, and it just changed. It's hard to explain, but it just changed my life. For that, it felt like it was music for the working class, like a rebellious music. The first Damned and X-Ray Specs, Vibrators, UK Subs, Sham, the Upstarts, all these loads of bands, Susan the Banshees, Well, I used to look up to all these bands because that's what influenced me to start a band. But so that's why I left the army because I couldn't have a strict dress code in the army.
Right.
Right. So I had to fucking change I had to put my clothes outside in a bag and that and get dressed and end up getting put in jail in the army. So I left, and then I left the army. I started, my first punk gig was first punk band I seen was the Vibrators. And everyone was spitting and that, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? Totally, what the fuck have you got spitting and that? And rolling about the floor, I go, oh, fucking mental. And that was just changed my life. And so I tried to get a job. Like I was the first guy to have a Mohican. I was the first guy to have a Mohican in the punk scene. So we had a Mohican back then. Every night was a fight night. Everybody wanted to fight you and laughed at you and fucking you can't get in. Look at the mesh you're in. You can't get in. So I was unemployed. I left the army. I was unemployed, and I'd go to the unemployment centre, and they'd tell me, no, you can't. You've only got a job unless you shave your hair off and change. And I went, fuck yous, I'm never changing.
Sure.
I'm never changing. So I started a band. And never looked back.
Now you the Exploited was going and you took over for your brother. Did you?
I've got two brothers. My brother Willie, and I had a brother Terry. He started a band called Exploited, but they were only 15 or something, and they done two or three concerts at school. They were just young kids, and they never done any proper gigs, and they were only around 6 months or something, and then they split up. And so I kept the name of the band, and I kept the guitarist, and I started Exploited proper. But my brother's band was just like school kids for like, just like never done fuck all. It wasn't really Exploited. It was just like I just really took the name and started. I started the band. It was my brother. My brother had a band called Exploited, but.
Do you remember your first gig with
the first gig we done was the YMCA, and we got paid £5.
Really?
Yeah.
You got paid $5. That was big, but that's big money.
No, it wasn't big money. No, we got paid £5 and we could play again on the condition there was no damage. So we never got asked back.
Well, you couldn't promise that. Well, that was us too. There was a lot of venues, even here in the Bay Area, that wouldn't have Exodus because of they knew what was going to happen at the show. And a lot of people said, hey, Zetro, why don't you guys play this place? And I'm like, they won't have us. Why don't you guys play this? They won't have us.
Right.
You guys destroy the place every time we play, which I welcome. I loved it.
It's like for the first 2 years of Exploited, no one would give us gigs because everyone said, constantly, every punk was dead. So none of the promoters wanted to touch punk bands because they said it was dead. It was another music fashion. So we used to hire venues, hire hotels, and we'd play the hotels and they get smashed up. And we'd have a local following called the Barmy Army, like about 600 people used to follow us, or skinheads and punks.
Right.
Because I used to be a skinhead before I was a punk, and back in the early days, skinheads and punks got on together. They were the same. There wasn't a divide.
Right.
Like what happened later on. But in the early 80s, it was the skinheads and punks liked the same music, so they were both together. But so we used to hire. We couldn't play anyway. Nobody would give us gigs because every gig we played was there was fights. And one person would start fighting, and everybody would start fighting, and everything gets smashed. Then fucking. But to me, that was just normal.
Well, it seemed like that to me because I went to my early punk shows were probably, I was about 16, 1980, 81. I remember seeing you guys for the first time at a place in San Francisco called the On Broadway.
Oh, yeah, we had the fight scene as well.
Oh, fuck, man. And I remember, and again, I have long hair. I liked hard rock and roll, but I liked punk music as well. And the fucking punks gave me shit. Hippie, cut your hair. I'd get in, to slam dance with them. They'd target me. So I remember seeing the first time I saw The Exploited, and I was washing dishes with this guy who was like, you got to go see this band. You got to see these guys. They're called The Exploited. So we went to the OB, and I remember fucking show starts. You guys, Big John comes out wailing his guitar. Wattie, you came out. You had this fucking mic stand. pop this kid right in the head. And the show started. It was one of the most fucking coolest violence. I'm this band. Who are these guys? I love this shit. And from then on, I was into street punk big time.
We'd look. I used to do a lot of drugs there. 34 years. I used to do speed every day for 34 years. Apart from twice I got busted. But then I didn't really care. But I used to get so many fights. But then that was, to me, it was just normal. I didn't really think about it. But we played on Broadway. There was a band called the FUs. The song got
Fuck Ups.
Aye,
Bob Noxious.
One heart, one's that had the brother.
Yeah.
Just like go in the other. So they gave me the single. I still got it. And that was fucking brilliant. It was a 7-track single. I went to go upstairs, and all the other bands were like fucking being quite aggressive, kind of shit. So, but I never took shit for anyone. I never do, never have, never will.
Right.
I never take shit for any kind. I always like fucking I get back.
That's the way
but I've always been like, I never take shit for any kind.
I think that's the way. Us being in thrash metal too. I mean, we're playing the same place as you are.
People think because you're in a band they can talk shit to you.
Right.
They'll
tell you what they think exactly.
Or they just talk shit to you. And to me, I just fucking punch them with it.
Well, I noticed back in the day. I don't know if Scotland wasn't necessarily like this, but when we were touring in Europe in the '80s. Ireland used to spit on you a lot. Anytime I played fucking Ireland, they would be like, and literally they come up in the front row, look at you and go,
totally.
I didn't fucking like that. I'm sorry, Wattie. I didn't like that.
That's punk rock. It used to happen at all the early shows. Everybody was spitting, so we used to spit back. I remember one show we done, it was in Leeds, fucking playing it, and I see somebody spat this big green gob, like a big bit spunk, and I could see it fly through the air, I was right in my mouth, I was I was gagging, man. It was I wouldn't wait by a girl.
Where's she at?
I wouldn't want to you want it. No, it was fucking gagging. But the worst place for spitting used to be in Spain. Go to Spain. It was it was just like fucking. You come back and look like being in a porn movie, just like fucking white and green gob.
It's so gross. So I want to talk about Punk's Not Dead came out in '81.
Yeah.
And that and Troops of Tomorrow, that classic exploited sound. But in 1990, you did an album called The Massacre, and it sounded like some of the bands that you influenced were now influencing you a bit. Can you talk about that a little bit?
No, it's like we've always played fast music, We've always played fast, like Exploited. We used to play all the punk bands. The only band that played fast was Discharge. That played like Seem Noise, and we were the only, I think Exploited were the only punk band that actually played faster than any other British punk bands, because that's what we like.
I love that though.
But I like
that's what
for
I
me.
love the best.
I love the aggression. I love the aggression.
Me too.
And that's why we play fast. And we've done the Massacre. It was the first time we had a proper producer. They've got a guy. Is it Colin Richardson?
I know Colin.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first time with a producer who actually liked that type of music and put his own idea and helped us get our ideas across. And so we spent like weeks and weeks recording that, and me and my brother, we put loads of ideas for the samples and stuff, and we had a lot of money to spend on the album compared to the rest of their albums, and that's why it sounded more thrashy than. But our other albums were Let's Start a War. Let's Start a War's just as fast as that. But we never.
I think the production on it is what made it sound more
totally.
Totally. I got to tell you, I love it. I mean, songs like "Boys in Blue," I hear a lot of. Wow. But I hope we're influencing him because it sounds so killer.
And to me, like all the albums we've done, the Massacre is what for me. The Massacre is the album that actually changed us. Like in the past, up to the Massacre, we done Punk's Dead, Troops Tomorrow. It was that's great. What fucking great albums. Then we done Dead Before the Dishonor, Horror Apex. We never got any press or fuck off for that. All the UK press slaughtered us, and we got fucking a lot. We never got any press, and we got a lot of shit stuck. And so when we done the Massacre, and at the time it was hard going for the Exploited because it was hard going. Now we're like fucking famous, but back then it was like you like the Exploited, but you hate it. And but back then we were really toiling to get gigs and that, and just the amount of hate we used to get. So sometimes I used to get, I think at one stage I was thinking, is this really worth doing? Fucking, I felt like calling it a day. And then somebody wrote to me and said, "This is the best album the Exploited's done," and that meant more to me than fucking anything with them before, and that kept me going. This is where I'm going to keep going because we're making music. So people like the band, like our music, so we're going to carry on. So that album was a very important album to me.
I felt that the musicianship on that record and the writing,
It's underrated. It's underrated.
I could hear everything on that record. I love the aggression. I love the attack on that. But it's still, there's still songs on there that are direct exploited songs. That sounds like, so it's not like, again,
we never change. We not exploited. We never copy we never copy any other ideas or other bands. We only ever write songs for the Exploited. But I didn't get influenced by other bands whatsoever. The music that the Exploited write it comes from my heart. It comes from us.
Well, you can tell that.
It comes from us. It doesn't come from like, oh, let's go and be so. Because some bands have got, oh, let's go and sound like that. But never to be like that. But I do things that I want to do. But I always think if I think it's right, then the people that follow us will think it's right because we like the same beliefs. And it doesn't matter about the haters or fucking whatever.
Well, I think the people that are true to it, like myself, I'm very true to my band. I'm true to thrash metal.
Yeah.
I love it. It's what I bleed. I love punk music as well. I love hard. I like anything aggressive, heavy, fast. I love it, and I live it.
My favorite metal bands was the Exodus, fucking Destruction, and the
Suicidal Angels
from
Greek. We just did that.
And plus, the last two Slayer albums are great as well. That's because to me, Exodus and they got real aggressive, and Destruction is really fast as fuck. And in the early days we toured we done some gigs with Destruction when they had long hair and that, and these skinny guys and that, and it's fucking we totally terrorised them, eh? But on a good way, on tour, eh?
Sure.
We totally fucking throw buckets of water over them.
Why not?
Eh? But they're fucking brilliant because Destruction were one of the early speed metal bands. They were doing it
One of the first.
They were doing it before anybody else.
I agree.
Yep.
And I see Schmear when I'm in Europe all the time, and I give him respect, and I talk to him about, just, people don't know. They always say, oh, the American bands, it's like, Exodus or even Metallica and Megadeth and Anthrax and Slayer and all. Does anybody know that there's Sodom and Destruction and Creator from Germany that have just as much realm in that? And I love them, my boys. I see them all the time. I love Mikey. I love Schmear.
I love it, guys.
They're great.
Been a long time.
Now, Wattie, Fuck the System went back to more of the, I would say, more traditional exploited sound. To me, again, the production on that album is fucking stellar.
Well, it should be, because it should be the first album we recorded with Punks Are Dead. It took us 3 days, cost £600.
Right.
The Fuck the System took us about 2 years. It cost us £101,000.
Oh, man.
And we never got any money for that. All that money went on recording and fucking in production and that. It took us 2 years in the studios. But that's the difference between the early stuff and Fuck the System and Punk's Dead. We never had the budgets or the knowledge.
But I think the message is still there. The music is still. I think back to Fuck the System is like almost back to Punk's Not Dead kind of. It was like really mirrors it a lot when I listen to it.
Same thing. Is it like Didn't Beat the Bastards? That was more a personal album. I wrote that album mostly about myself, about things that have happened in my life, my ex-pals and girlfriends and shit. Then the last album went back to being more political. The last album, Fuck the System, went back to be more about social issues instead of my life.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, my man, it was great having you here. Okay. Thank you so much for coming in. I know you're busy on tour, 40 years now, right? This is 40 years on tour.
I thought, like, when I first started the band, I thought, 2 years, if we get 2 years, it'll be fucking fantastic.
Yeah, but look at it's 40 years later, and you still have a ton of, and I've watched a lot of live stuff of you lately. There's still kids in the crowd. There's still young kids in the crowd.
And the reason that is a lot of punk bands just get their older crowd because they didn't get, because the music's shit. But with the Exploited, we've always been a good live band, Always a good live band, and the records are relevant. So every time people come, exactly, we got like 50-year-olds, and we had a couple of kids a day. I got them on stage. They're about 7, 8 year old. About 7 or 8 year old got them on stage to sing Sex and Violence.
How great is that?
And it's like when we play Sex and Violence on stage everywhere in the world. We get people on stage, and some of the clubs they fucking hate it. Eh? Like we played the Novo place in LA. It's a beautiful club, but like when we got everybody on stage, you can see they were hating it. Eh? Fucking all these fucking punks on stage. But to me, it's like you get to be kid up on stage, and it's like to us it's nothing because we're playing. But when you get somebody on stage, they go on stage, they'll never forget it. They'll always for the rest of their life.
And they're a fan for the rest of their lives.
Exactly. For the rest of their life, they'll remember it. Even when I'm dead, they'll remember that. Well, I remember 40 years ago, I was on stage with Exploited. On stage.
I agree with you.
And to me, that's what punk rock is. It's about anybody can do it.
That's right.
And that's why I do punk, because like you were saying earlier about influences. There's a guy called Johnny Moped in the early punk bands with the Pistols and that, and all he done was go. I went, I can do that. I can make a noise. And to me, so that's punk rock. I can't sing. People like guys in Faith No More or fucking Chili Peppers, they can sing.
Those guys sing.
They can sing, right? But I'm just like, I just make a
Wattie,
noise.
I'm a growler. I'm a growler.
And that's
too.
what it is.
I'm not, I'm a growler. Everybody knows that from me.
But to me, that's punk rock, and it's like, and so that's why I love punk. That's why I love punk music. It's not so much how you have to be the greatest. You just got to enjoy it and do your bit. And if you enjoy it, and people enjoy your music, you can't buy that. That's fucking. No. That's better than money. No. That's better than money.
And as long as they're coming to see you, you're going to keep doing it, right?
Aye, we still well, the gigs we've done recently, we're still getting emails and Instagram and that saying, "Oh, it's the best. This is the best gig I've ever been to in my life." And to me, that's fucking like, that makes it all worthwhile.
What, 40 years later, and you're still hearing that story. That's what keeps you driving. That's what keeps me driving. Wattie, thank you for coming into Zetro's Toxic Ball. Can we do this again when you come back to the Bay Area?
I don't know if I'll be back again ever, to be honest. And my health, so I don't know. If we do come back, it's only been like 20 years, and I'm 61. Come on.
Well, I'm 55. I'm 55. I'm right behind you. But when I come to Scotland, we can hang out there. When I come to play, all right?
Definitely.
So again, great having you in once again, Wattie. Awesome. Love the Exploded. Keep it up. Keep doing. We don't know how to do anything else, right?
No.
And hopefully you'll be back in the vault. And don't say you're not coming back. We'll see you back. Bullshit.
Depends on my health.
We'll pull in for you out. All you guys, leave me comments on Wattie and the Exploited and sign up for my channel. Other than that, we'll see you in the vault real soon.
Bye.